stream with a co-host. I got Savannah Dean, aka Sav on Sports, joining me today. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Hey, I'm excited. Like I can't. I'm excited that we got a chance to link up. I've reached out to you. Oh, let me. I guess I should introduce myself. I am God Child, first of his name. This is the What's Packing Sports Show where we are dedicated to Green Bay all day. And I met Savannah on we follow each other on Twitter, and so I just kind of like reached out to her and was like, "Hey, would you like to join the show and give me some of your takes on what's going on with the Packers?" And she was like, "Yeah, I saw that you were like an aspiring, what you want to call it? Oh, hold up.
Sports broadcaster.
Yeah, like an okay, so we're going to start over because I'm still learning how to do this and I forgot to transition the scene to the live scene. So this is officially the beginning of week 16 What's Packing Sports Show. I'm your host, Godchild, first of his name, and I am joined today by a very special guest, Savannah Dean at Sav on Sports on Twitter. As you can see her handle down there, and she's just as crazy and avid and rabid a Packers fan as I am. And I just decided to hit her up and see if she would like to join the show, and she was down. So here we are. This is how we got here. How you doing today, Savannah?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Hey, it's Victory Monday, right?
It is. We had a Victory Sunday and a Victory Monday.
I know, right? We got the double dip on the victory days, 2 days in a row, and I'm feeling good. I don't know how long that's going to last because we got the Titans coming into town, and Derrick Henry is giving out stiff arms like Santa Claus on Christmas.
Watching that video, like all the videos that he's done all year, I'm like literally freaking out because we have good corners, we have really good safeties, decent linebackers. I'm scared that he's just gonna be like, "Oh, I'm double your size. Hold on, get the heck out of my way!" Like,
get out of my way. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, for real.
We're gonna talk about that, but let's enjoy the Victory Monday while it's still here. Okay.
Yes.
The Packers, they win 24-16 over the Carolina Panthers, and I usually do something I like to call the 5 W's every victory after every game. Since I've been doing this, I think it's always been after a victory. So luckily, hopefully, maybe the show is a good luck charm, and I'll keep doing this.
Yeah, I like it.
And we'll keep winning. But I'm gonna give you first crack at it. You got your 5 W's. You ready? Because I know you said you like to bring the stats and stuff. So I'm waiting for the stats and everything. But I'm gonna let you go first on your 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, and why the Packers won on Sunday against Carolina 16-24.
Yeah, I am a huge stats person.
Okay, cool.
Well, but I also I'm like a weird stats person. Like I'll bring up like stuff that's like I remember last year when I was talking about Matt Ryan playing, like he was the team wasn't doing very well, but he was like 4-0 against like a top 5 defense, and they ended up winning that game. Like I like having those like weird stats that like it's not just Aaron Jones had 140 or 100 whatever rushing yards last week. Like I like those weird stats, that the insights that like people would like not know about. So I love to bring that stuff.
The inside information, you go deep, you dig deep for those stats. Not you have those like
I do. I find it so interesting. I love that type of stuff.
You those kind of people. Do you like it? So do you like it when they give you those really obscure stats like Aaron Rodgers is 13-0 on Monday night games where the temperature is between 60 and 40 degrees and he wears white socks? Like like sometimes I feel
I do like that type of stuff. That's definitely stuff that I like look forward to like hearing and stuff.
Okay, so I'm gonna be interested to see what you got for us today. So give me your first W. Who stood out to you in this game on Sunday against Carolina?
I would like to say Aaron Jones, obviously, because of everything that he was able to do, 145 yards and a touchdown. But I really want to say, Darnell Savage, really, stepped up. He has a couple pass defenses, he was able to get key stops that, kept us from, because our offense obviously wasn't that great in the second half. So our defense really needed to step up in the second half, and they did. And I think Darnell Savage had a huge part in that.
Yeah, man. So I told you we're streaming live, right, on YouTube and Twitch, and we got somebody in the chat here. Getstone Talk Sports on YouTube. He says liking the guest concept. Keep doing more of this stuff. So somebody's liking what we're doing, and I like what you went. So you're going with Savage, not Jones, as your standout player, or you kind of going with both of them.
Right. Obviously, Jones was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But it's just, like I said, our defense really had to step up in the second half. Darnell Savage and Adrian Amos, were really the stars of the game, because the second half we needed the defense to step up because our offense wasn't having it.
Yeah. And
they both of them stepped up. So I have to go with that.
And honestly, you went with defense, and I'm gonna go defense too. You took Savage. I'm going to take Adrian Amos as my who stepped up for the game, because look, man, I've been kind of hard on this defense all year. I've been very critical of this team, even though some people might say I'm being negative. I just say I'm being critical, and I'm just expect a lot of them. I have the bar set very high for this team. And one of the players to me who I think just maybe had his best game of the season, just from the eyeball test. I don't know how Pro Football Focus graded him out, or if he has had a higher graded game since he's been here. But Adrian Amos, to me, I have never seen him flash like he was flashing all over the field on Sunday. I mean, he had 7 tackles, he had a sack, and he had 3 passes defended. I mean, the one pass he lunged to the side and just got a hand on it before, I guess, I don't know, it was a tight end or somebody was almost going to be able to catch it underneath. I mean, if you're a Packers fan, you know that the middle of the field has been a weak spot for this defense for decades. Yeah. And I was just surprised, man, at what Adrian Amos was able to do. And I feel like his first year, he had that interception against Chicago, his first time playing against them. And then
that very first game where we hardly, what was it, 10-3 or something like that? That was a low scoring game.
It was a low scoring game. It was difficult. And then he had maybe 1 or 2 splash plays throughout the rest of the season. He's kind of been known as that solid rock guy, in the defense, keeps everybody on the same page, a good communicator. But I don't know. I feel like he hasn't really made a whole lot of splash plays, but I feel like the 7 tackles, the sack was just perfectly timed, and then he had 3 passes defense. I just felt like he was all over the field. So he was my standout guy, man. Adrian Amos. You said Savage and Jones, and Jones, he definitely stood out. But I like to highlight new guys when I can. Adrian Amos was definitely the first time I highlighted him. So the next topic the next W is what, as in what did you take away from the game, or what did you feel like you learned from this game after the Packers were able to win 24-16 against Carolina?
I'm taking away more of the fact that I think our defense is, and I don't know if this has to do with maybe Mike Pettin realizing that he needs to switch things up and keep his foot on the gas and stuff like that. But our defense, I really took away that our defense is able to step up when we need them. All the Packers fans, a lot of just general fans of the NFL know that our offense is great. We have a great offense, but our defense has struggled this season. So from this game, I've really taken away that if there's really a point in time where we need our defense to step up, then they can do it, and they have that bend but don't break mentality. Yeah,
I think you bring up a good point about the defense, because That was, I mean, that's definitely kind of like one of my takeaways. But since you took that one, I'm gonna take the other one, and I'm gonna say the running game is gonna be like a major part of their success going down the stretch. I totally agree with you though that the offense, this game, they kind of let us down. They let the team down. They let the fans down. They let themselves down in the second half after jumping out to a 21 points in the first 3 quarters. They only was able to score like a field goal in the last 3 quarters, reminiscent of the Indianapolis game. And I was very disappointed. But the bright side was the defense, like you said. But,
Right.
you know, what I did realize, though, for me, with the running game, Aaron Jones had 150 yards. Williams had some carries. Dillon even had like a little 12-yard run where he looked pretty good, breaking off a tackle, spinning. Rodgers had like another 16 or 18 yards scrambling. And I looked it up, and I think they had over 200, like 201 or just over 200 yards rushing on the day. And I feel like going down the stretch, being able to run the ball, having a triple-headed monster now, who knows, with Dillon in the game or back from injury or back off the COVID list, I think this team should rely on the running game because even like I feel like one of the reasons why they were able to win, even though they didn't score a lot, is because they ran the ball so much and they controlled the clock. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The time of possession was really in their favor. The defense, to me, was able to play well and get stops. And, I mean, they had, like, towards the end of the game, they forced 2 punts. I mean, I was, like, for sure that the Carolina was going to go down there and be able to, like, get some points. But the defense, even though offense didn't score, the defense forced, like, 2 punts in, like, under, like, 2 minutes. They had, like, really short drives. I was really encouraged by that, but I feel like that goes hand in hand with the offense controlling the clock and them winning the time possession battle. The defense was fresher, you know. Maybe they were a little bit fresher. They just didn't have as much work to throughout the whole game. So, I think it goes hand in hand for me, and I think those are both two good takeaways, honestly. And so, as far as like, when did you think was the turning point? And I feel like we probably will have the same turning point moment here. But when was your turning point moment?
Well, if we're gonna say like the turning point of like a bad turning point, obviously the whole second half, like in general,
Okay.
coming out of halftime, you know.
Yeah.
But what I really saw for the turning point in general was when Barnes forced that goal line fumble.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I feel like we have to have the same turning point because.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll let you expand on it, but yeah, I mean, that was how crazy was that? And if you were watching my live stream, or anybody who was watching my live stream or on my live stream, I've been saying that like all game. We need to turn over. We need to turn over. We need to turn over. And just like to get it at that moment, and like on the goal line, like I was even saying like, okay, come on, defense, like they don't have to give up shit, you know, like y'all don't have to give up anything, you know. And then Barnes makes that play. Teddy Bridgewater tries to go up over the goal line to get the sneak, and he knocks it out. And then Kevin King is like he almost had a scoop and score, but I mean,
know if he would have dodged that one guy, it literally would have been a score. He would have made it the whole field.
Too bad it wasn't Jair. I feel like Jair may have had enough gas in the tank or enough moves.
Yeah.
Kevin, he's tall, so he's a little.
side.
Kevin's a little, because he's so tall and lanky. I feel like he's a little. Almost clumsy sometimes. He seems like he doesn't seem to like flip his hips really well, or like sometimes he seems to like slip a lot or in coverage, or like he's always kind of like falling down or like mistiming his jumps and stuff like that. So I don't know, but hey, we're not gonna focus on too much bad here. I think that's the turning point. You know, what were you thinking when you saw that? Were you had you already given up and just kind of conceded to the fact that they were going to give up a touchdown there, or were you holding out for something crazy to happen?
Yeah. I mean, of course, you always hope for something to happen, but like, just in general, like we all know that Teddy Bridgewater is a skilled quarterback.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, he's gonna run it in, like they're gonna get a touchdown, but then hopefully our offense is just gonna come out like screaming and running, and we can go down and like match, like don't have like their points be unanswered.
Yeah.
So when I saw that happening, I was like, what's happening? I was like, what is going on? And I was just like, in my head, I'm thinking, well, with our luck, it's going to be overturned and they're going to call it a touchdown because it crossed the line before he knocked it out. And then it wasn't. So it was a crazy play. I was going through a lot of emotions during that point in time of the game.
I mean, yeah, I freaking lost my mind. I couldn't, like, I was not conceded. I hadn't given up yet, and I was like, okay, something can happen, but I mean, it didn't seem like something was going to happen. I mean, they kind of let the drive down there, and there's like 1 yard, and like how often does that and I feel like those are one of those kind of plays in football where you ask yourself, why don't more defenders try and do that? You know, I feel like there's a couple of plays like that, like the fake spike. I feel like the fake spike is you can't use it like every single game, but I feel like you could probably use it a couple of times a season and it would definitely work every time. If you're like really trying to, and you're really selling it, and you're really trying to, like, you need these yards, or you don't have it, whatever, you need the really clock it, or something crazy just happened. I feel like that play will work a lot more. And same thing, I feel like more defenders should be trying to like knock the ball away when quarterbacks are obviously, or even like players like running backs, when they do this, it's like they try to like tackle them instead of just like use your eyes and try to just bat the ball down or like knock the ball away. And Chris Barnes, a rookie, he had the wherewithal to do it, and it really, to me, honestly, changed the game. So we got the same point. The Chris Barnes forced fumble, man, I can't believe it. It was like timely. It was timely. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you place this performance, this game that the Packers just played, on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, because it was a win, you have to go like, oh, well, it's above a 5 at least.
Okay, all right, that's fair enough.
But I'm thinking with what I've seen games-wise, how our offense can play, how our defense can play, I'm probably going to go like a 6.5 to a 7, just because our offense was great. Our whole team was great the second half, and then our defense stepped up the second half. Like our offense didn't play well the second half, and even, I don't know if you saw anything, but Aaron Rodgers came out talking about how, like, he has a sour taste in his mouth after this game for the second half because, we can't play like that and expect to win in the playoffs.
Yeah,
like,
for
obviously,
sure.
Carolina isn't a playoff team, but they're not a bad team. Like,
they're not.
I saw a stat that the Saints and the Chiefs beat the Panthers by less than what we beat them by combined.
And so I also saw a stat that said, and I'll let you finish, but just real quick, because I also saw a stat that said the Panthers, they had like of their 9 losses, I think all of them were like a score or less or something like that. Or so like they've been missing Christian McCaffrey. Of course, he's one of the best players in the NFL. They have a rookie head coach, and they have a lot of young pieces, but it's one of those times where it's like they say, your record is who you are. Well, not always. And that team wasn't definitely like they don't play like they're 4-9. So.
Right, exactly. I know. It's like, that's the thing. If the games are so close, they're just unable to finish that close game. So that just means they're just missing those couple 2 or 3 like key pieces. Like, you get Christian McCaffrey back, okay. And then you just get a couple more pieces to figure it out, and then that 4-9 record would probably go to a 9-4 record if you can close a lot of those close games.
Yeah.
So they're not a bad team. So that's why I still feel like this was a good win. Obviously, our offense sucked the second half, but I still feel like this is a decent enough win to give it a 7.
Okay, 7. So yeah, I'm glad that you said that, because you've been like kind of teased the 6.5. And because I mean, honestly, that's kind of I'm probably gonna go like 6.7. Like, I'm gonna give it just a little bit more than a half, but not quite a 7, because I was really honestly disappointed in how they came out in the second half, and I'm really worried about that. We're going to kind of preview the Titans matchup and maybe even look at the playoff picture later on in the show. But it's like you can't expect to be able to win too many more games like this. You know, it's becoming January football. It's December football. It's January football. That means playoff football. That means the best of the best. That means you have 16 games of tape this year that teams can look at to find tendencies, to try to dissect every little thing that you do right or wrong. That means that every mistake is going to be amplified. That means that every bad play is going to be that much worse. You know, every good play is going to be that much more impactful. So for this team to be boasting the, you know, title of number one offense and points and yards, and to have Devontae Adams, who a lot of people are calling the best wide receiver in football, and have Aaron Jones, who I think is a top 10 running back, and Aaron Rodgers, who is a definite Hall of Famer and in the MVP race, is like, and Robert Tonyan, who's like leading the league or tied for the league in touchdowns. Like, you have enough pieces. And Rodgers even said like the defense was kind of strange, or, you know, they weren't doing anything crazy though. You know, it was like they didn't have any like super exotic blitz packages. You know, they were kind of, I guess, giving them the run, and they played into the pass. And, you know, to their credit, Green Bay, they ran the ball. I mean, I still would like to see them give the ball to Aaron Jones a little bit more, because I feel like I said he's a kind of guy that he gives you a little bit at a time, and then he just kind of has an explosive spurt where he breaks 15, 20 yards. And he did, and that was good. But I feel like if he got the ball more, maybe we could have had more rushing touchdowns, or just maybe they could have even did the more plays off of play action. They ran that little – they have this play the Packers do where they throw like a little side kind of dump pass to Devontae, or they usually throw it to Devontae, or sometimes they'll do it to other people when they have people block.
Yeah, he's big in the screen game.
He is big in the screen game, but sometimes they don't even put people out there. They just try to get it to him as quick as possible and let him work in space. And I do like that. And it's essentially kind of like a run play, but it's a pass play. But I feel like those little plays, I would like to see them run more like slants and actual screens, or like I said, more play action. So I was just disappointed in the offensive effort, and it just seemed like they had nothing. They didn't even get into like field goal range. So
I know, because Mason Crosby, he could probably kick a 60-yarder, and I'd be like, we're good.
Yeah, I feel like Mason. He has like a 62-yarder or a 63-yarder, doesn't he?
No, I think that 58-yarder that he kicked 2 weeks ago was his career long.
Really?
Or tied his career long.
Really? So, okay, I thought he had kicked a 62-yarder before or something in a game.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
You about to look it up?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna I'm gonna let you look that up, and I'm just gonna finish up my point. I'm gonna say the 6.7 to me, just because the team could do better, man. But they did run the ball well, and the defense stepped up. But offensively, that was about as bad as. I guess that it wasn't as bad as the Tampa Bay game, but I just feel like after having that happen to them in Indy and Tampa, it seems like, I don't know, sometimes maybe LaFleur just can't figure out like what to do to get this offense running. I would like to see them also try more up-tempo. I thought that was something they were going to introduce to the offense more frequently this year, and I still feel like they haven't really done a lot of it. Did you find the Mason stat?
Yeah, it is 58.
Okay, it's 58. Well. Okay. Well, I know I've seen him kick it from 58, and that thing could have went 65. So maybe I'm just having a little bit of wishful thinking for my man Mason there. So that brings us to the last W, which is why ultimately you feel like the Packers won this game.
I'm just gonna go back to the original point of literally the defense.
Yeah, defense.
It's great. Like, I want to say again, Aaron Jones, because obviously he was able to eat up the clock, and like even when our offense wasn't doing that great, like in the second half, we were still able to run the ball like decently enough to like take them off the clock.
Yeah.
And when our defense would get on the field, we were able to stop them like most of the time. So I have to say we literally won this game because of Aaron Jones' effort and our defense. Like, it literally is just those two. And, like, obviously, you know, Adams did decently well, and, like, Aaron Rodgers played decently well, but, like, neither of their staffs were, like, popping off the board. Like, you know how every week they do, like, the NFL posts, like, that, like, have a game where it's so, like, okay, well, Aaron Rodgers or Devontae Adams didn't get it this week.
No, they didn't.
Aaron Jones,
Aaron
Jones got it. So it's like, you know, neither of their stats like jumped off the board. So like I literally have to go with Aaron Jones and then our defense. Like those are the only two reasons why we won this game.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the offense, they did put up. They did enough, I guess. They put up their 21 in the first half, and they just kind of, I don't know what happened, but they rested on their laurels or they got comfortable. And I'm gonna have to agree with you. I'm gonna just say the defense, and I guess more specifically, the secondary, you know, I feel like they have, even though as a whole this defense I guess leaves you a lot to be desired sometimes. I feel like we know that the front seven, even though they're not the best against the run, we do have a lot of confidence in their ability to like rush the passer, get pressure, and sort of just be aggressive up front. And I feel like sometimes on the back end, though, they kind of drop the ball, you know, even pun intended, I guess you could say. But you know, this time, this game, I really felt like, even though DJ Moore did have kind of a good game, I was just really impressed with, like you said, Savage. He's been on an upswing. He's been trending upwards for the past couple of weeks. He seems like he's finally getting it. And Adrian Amos just was like, he just really stood out, man. So I'm gonna go with the defense too, and I'm gonna let them have it. You know, they're the reason why they won, and I guess, you know, Patton, he deserves some kind of credit for, even though I'm not really big on giving Patton a bunch of credit because I think he's horrible. But I mean, hey, he did something. You know, Patton was able to.
I mean, if he switched, I mean, you saw that he switched stuff up. Like he's giving Martin more snaps.
Yeah.
He's giving Barnes more snaps.
Gary.
He's giving Gary more snaps. Like you have, like he really is actually like starting to like figure things out. It might have taken 14 weeks, which is absolutely awful.
Not even 14 weeks. He's been a coach for like decades. You know what I'm saying? Like he's even been a head coach. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude has been a coach for like 20 years in the NFL, and you're just I mean, I guess better late than never.
Right. But you know what this game actually reminded me of? Do you remember last season when we played the Vikings in like September, and we literally went on and scored like 21 points in the first quarter, and then we literally didn't score again like the rest of the game, and like we really had like we ended up winning like 21-16 against the Vikings. But
yeah, that was the first game, right?
Yeah, well, it was sometime in September. It might have been the first
September.
game.
Okay, so that was like the first Vikings game. Because the last one I remember was like kind of a blowout, I feel like.
Yeah. So it was, it just reminds me, I feel like we always have a game like that when our team is like on, because obviously 17, like, I don't want to say didn't count, but, and then obviously 18 Aaron Rodgers was hurt. But like those seasons that we're doing well, I feel like we always have that one weird game where it's like our offense is good and we score a bunch of points and we think it's going to be blowout, and then we start to suck. So like that's literally what this game reminded me of. So I'm just kind of hoping that this isn't something that just like happens again. We got that one where we can't score like after the second half out of the way.
Well, like I said, this will be the second time, really, you know, because it happened in Indianapolis too. So yeah, let's hope that they're done with not scoring in one of the halves.
In the second half,
or first half. I don't want them to not score at all in the first half either. They'll be like, man, they just would have had one touchdown in the first half. They would have been able to win the game. It's like, I just want them to score equally distribute the scores throughout all the quarters. How about that? Mm-hmm. All right, that wraps up our 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, and why. The Packers won Sunday against the Carolina Panthers, and somebody says on YouTube we have good chemistry, which is good because this is our first time doing this, so it's good that we have a good little chemistry going. So the next topic, did you want to introduce the next topic, or I got some? I think we wrote down we were talking about MVP and like offensive player of the year stuff, or did you have something you wanted to bring up?
No, we can go straight into that. That's fine.
Okay, yeah. So as it has been well documented, Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes are sort of like neck and neck, I guess, or depending on who you ask, they're like neck and neck in this MVP race. Some people say it's Aaron Rodgers. Some people say it's Patrick Mahomes. And really this weekend wasn't really that great for either one of these quarterbacks, to be honest with you. Aaron, though, did have the worst day, I guess you could say. Didn't even get 200 yards, even though he had 3 touchdowns to extend his lead. No interceptions. But I just think this year it was funny because at the beginning of the year, it started out as kind of like a 4-man race or 5-man race, and all these quarterbacks, and everybody thought it was going to be Russell Wilson, and then Josh Allen was kind of in there for a little bit. And now some people think Josh Allen's kind of creeping back up in that conversation. Or maybe even Derrick Henry, depending if he can crack 2,000 yards on the year. He might even have an opportunity to steal away some MVP votes. But I just wanted to talk about the MVP trophy as a whole and what you think about it. And who would you say so far is your MVP? And who do you think is actually going to get MVP this year?
Well, I want to be super biased and say Aaron Rodgers because I want to be super biased. But obviously, I'm not going to do that. Patrick Mahomes literally just has skills. Like, there's nothing that Patrick Mahomes can do that Aaron Rodgers hasn't done, but it's because Aaron Rodgers is way more farther into his career that Patrick Mahomes, the stuff that he's doing right now is mind-blowing to these younger people and these people that haven't seen Aaron Rodgers play his 2011 season, his 2014 season, his 2016 season. There's these people that – so – I still want to say that Aaron Rodgers is out front, but the way that Patrick Mahomes plays, it just makes him seem like he is the front runner because of the way he's able to make throws and the way that, the way that he's able to move his feet, and he can literally be getting knocked down and he can complete a pass. And there's just a lot of things that Aaron Rodgers that he's already done. He just can't consistently do that anymore. But if you look at
he's 37.
I know.
He's getting up there a little bit, to still be he can run a little bit. He still kind of scrambles. Like I said, he had a couple he had a touchdown. He had a touchdown this last game. I was shocked. Oh man, Rodgers. But I agree. It's like Patrick's younger. He's the newer model, the new version, so everyone's sort of like hyping the new version up, but
yeah, I mean, I think that Patrick Mahomes is going to get more votes, specifically just because of how he, plays, talent-wise and not stat-wise. But if you're going to look at stats and not necessarily just do the eye test, then you should be giving it to Aaron Rodgers because the only thing that Patrick Mahomes is beating Aaron Rodgers in right now is yards. Aaron Rodgers has completion percentage. Aaron Rodgers has touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers has interceptions.
QBR, quarterback rating, QBR. Both of them. The original one, the quarterback rating, and the ESPN advanced metric version, the QBR.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers has all that. Everything that you look at as an MVP, Aaron Rodgers has all that except for the yards. Yeah. And it's just he's also doing more with less.
Yeah.
This Chiefs team is absolutely a super team. They have Le'Veon Bell, they have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Tyreek Hill.
I even forgot.
All those people.
I was watching the game yesterday. I was like, he was like, Bell gets the carry. I was like, Bell. I was like, oh yeah, Le'Veon Bell's on this team. All right, he's like such an afterthought. Like, oh yeah, this guy, just throw him out there, let him get a couple. Yeah, no, you were saying. I'm sorry, I can't cut you off, but yeah, I mean, I just wanted to. I remember, but yeah, like you were saying, it was a super team. Yeah,
they're just a super team, and Aaron Rodgers is just doing more with less. The star receivers, when you look at the Chiefs, they have 3 star receivers and a star tight end. The Packers have a rising star and a tight end, and they do have one of the best wide receivers, but that's it. They have those 2. and the Chiefs have two really good running backs. The Packers have a decent running back. You know what I'm saying? Like, Aaron Rodgers just has less on his team than Patrick Mahomes does. But I want to say, stats-wise, you have to give it to Rodgers. But, like, eye test-wise, you need to give it to Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, so you think Patrick is going to actually maybe get it? He'll win.
I do think Patrick Mahomes is going to win. And it makes me sad to say that, but, you know, I have to be honest with myself at some point.
So I agree with a lot of you said as far as like Patrick has the new shiny factor, which makes like everything he does seem better, or like, oh, he can, like even Chris Collinsworth, like, come on, dude. He said a couple weeks ago, like, Patrick Mahomes is the king of the free play. And I'm like, really, dude? Really?
Yeah.
Like,
right. And then Al Michaels is like, Aaron Rodgers is on the other line. He's going to want to talk to you about that.
Exactly. He's like, come on, Collinsworth. Like, even you're supposed to be unbiased. Like, you've been retired for all these years. Like, for the Bengals he played for. Like, it's like, come on, man. Like, don't do that. You know damn well. Like, no one has more of those free plays than Aaron Rodgers, or is, like, really good at doing it. I mean, he was doing this even when there were fans in the stands. Like, full stadiums, he was doing this, man. I remember that game when they played the Washington football team, as they call them now. It was like they talked about it all week, and he still got him to jump like 2 or 3 times in the game. And he also gets people for the 12 men on the field, like, all the time. Aaron Rodgers is so cerebral. And I do think that, like, something you mentioned as far as, like, just the way Mahomes plays, and I think offensively, like you said, their team is stacked, and you talked about all the players they have. But I feel like another sort of underrated component to the conversations for like how well they're playing is like Andy Reid has been a coach in this league for decades. You know, he's very experienced. He knows exactly how he wants to run his offense. He calls the plays. I do think he splits some time with calling plays with Eric Bieniemy, even though in the past Andy Reid has exclusively called his plays. But I think because he's trying to get his offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy more of a opportunity at a head coaching job, he's allowing him to call plays now, or call some of the plays, or have more input on the play calls. So, you know, because teams are going to look at that like, hey, if you're going to be the guy, like, do you even call your own plays? But I think that really can factor into the offense production and them being able to always kind of turn it on, even when Mahomes does struggle, or when teams do sort of have kind of an answer for them for a quarter or two. They seem to be able to get it back on track. Whereas with the Packers, I mean, this is Matt LaFleur's only second year calling plays.
Right.
This is only his second year as a head coach. And this is only his second year with Aaron Rodgers, even though you can say, okay, Pat Mahomes, this is what, his third year now? Sort of, or his fourth year.
Yeah. Technically his fourth year, but
right.
His third year start.
So, I mean, even still, like 4 years, 3 years as a full-time starter, like, that's a whole nother year that him and Reed have together. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so it's like, I think that too kind of plays into the offense being as explosive or as good as it is. And, you know, Rodgers still really learning his offense. I mean, there's still probably stuff that they haven't even input or they haven't even used yet in his offense. So to me, and you add in that, you know, Rodgers, he's getting up there a little bit. He's 37. You know, he just turned 37 this year. He's having career highs, or, I mean, he's kind of trending towards career highs. I think he's going to break his touchdown record for sure. He's probably not going to break his yards record unless he just goes, like, you know, nuclear.
Goes ham and throws 500 for
unless he has, like, a nuclear game in one of these last few games where he has, like, 550 or 490 or some crazy shit. We got another comment that says, take Mahomes from KC. They still make the playoffs and win the division. Do that with Green Bay, and Green Bay won't go to the playoffs. The MVP is Aaron Rodgers. And that's kind of like where I was going to end up going. That's a great comment from Get Stone Talk Sports. Yeah. If you take Mahomes off of this team, they still have a shot. And I'm not going to say I can't say for sure, you know, because I do think that Mahomes just does some things that probably, you know, Andy calls certain plays because he knows that Mahomes can just do stuff that other quarterbacks can't do. It may not be the best play the call against this coverage, but I know he can throw the coverage, or he can like put it in there. He can really throw a fastball that other quarterbacks won't throw. But we know for a fact, if Aaron Rodgers is not starting for this team probably won't even win 5 games.
We literally proved it in 2017. Yeah. Okay, like we literally went. What did we go 7-9, and then we went in 2018 6-9-1.
Yeah.
With an injured Aaron Rodgers, and then we won 4 out of the 5 games or whatever that Aaron Rodgers started in 2017 before he got hurt. Yeah. So we won 2 more games without him.
Yeah, with Hundley.
Yeah, exactly.
Back there.
Like we had Adams. We had Adams, Jones, and Williams were rookies. But just in general, we had a lot of these people on the team, and we still only won 2 more games after he went out. And I don't remember, did he go out in week 5 or week 6? But we still played 10 to 11 more games and only won.
I think it may be week 5.
Yeah, so we played 11 more games and only won 2 of them. And this is the Chiefs' 5th year in a row winning the AFC West. And Patrick Mahomes, this is his 3rd year starting.
Exactly.
So that means 2 years before he even started, they still had won.
Had a good team with Alex Smith, who's now in Washington.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and so to me, and that really, so I'm going to say, honestly, I'm actually going to go with Aaron Rodgers. I think that he's not going to get like a comeback player of the year, but I think yards is yards. I mean, it's the NFL. Like, there's going to be guys on shitty ass 5-win teams that have 4,000 plus yards or what. I mean, like, look at Matt Ryan. I literally just said Matt Ryan. You said Matt Ryan. Exactly. I mean, so yards is yards, but touchdowns, interception to touchdown ratio, efficiency. I mean, and not even just on those. He's number 1 in passes completion over 20 yards and off a play action pass. I mean, he's really in a zone, and he's really killing it this year. And I think he should win. And I think he's going to win. I think he's going to, because I feel like even as much as the media loves Mahomes, I think the Packers sort of going to the playoffs and kind of being back on top is a narrative that some of the older media people that they can kind of get behind. And I feel like a lot of people, even honestly, you can even kind of see now with how Dallas has played horrible. Now I know they lost Dak Prescott in week 5 or whatever it was, but Dallas has not looked good. And as we know, Mike McCarthy is coaching the Dallas Cowboys now, and it kind of just also is like, Aaron Rodgers was able to do all of this and carry this team to a Super Bowl with this guy as his head coach. I feel like that should honestly be another little extra, like the straw that, that kind of tips the scales, or the feather that maybe it's like this, but that little thing like McCarthy, Rodgers, you know what I'm saying? He should get it just for just for that little thing. And so it's I think that, but I think that does bring us to another interesting part of this conversation that I did want to dive into, which is what is the MVP really? Is it for the best, most talented player in the league? That's really what the Offensive Player of the Year award is for, right? So, I mean, it's how I feel like they need to, I don't know if this exists, but I feel like it probably doesn't, because no one ever references it when you have this conversation. But I feel like the whoever's voting for it, the Associated Press or whoever the fuck it is, they need to release some bullet points for what is the criteria of the MVP. Because exactly, I mean, if you're just going based off who is the most valuable player to their team or the league, I guess, that's another thing, the league or to the team, because to your team, it's no question Aaron Rodgers is more valuable to his team than Patrick Mahomes is to the Chiefs, in my opinion. But now if you want to say who has the possibility to be more of a threat offensively, I say maybe Mahomes, because he's even can run, he's younger. But if that were the case, he'd have more touchdowns. You know, and to me, Rodgers, even missing Devontae Adams for a long stretch, for almost like a month, almost we missed Devontae
Yeah.
Adams. Then we had Aaron Jones was out for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then Lazard missed like multiple months. So Rodgers hasn't even had his full complement of receivers, and he's still leading the league in touchdown passes, throwing to a 5th round guys, undrafted people, and dudes who were picked up off practice squads. It's like, I don't know, man. What is the MVP really award really? You know, what do you think?
I mean, I really think it's, I don't know. It's so hard. I can't even explain it. It really, I think it's the overall best player in the NFL, no matter what your team is or not. Because if you take Patrick Mahomes and you put him on another team, he would still probably make like bad receivers look decent.
Better, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, he has a great like super team around him,
Yeah.
which is great for him. But it's just like, I really do think it's probably the most talented, the best player in the whole league, which is why running backs and possible wide receivers and stuff are still up for the award. If it was only the most valuable player for their team, then it probably would only be quarterbacks. Because, like, yeah, okay, Derrick Henry is more important than Ryan Tannehill on the Titans. But, like, for most every other team, like, it's the quarterback that's the most important person. So I got to go with the most important and the best, most talented player in the league.
Okay. Hey, you made a good point. Did we freeze up here?
I don't think so.
Okay. Looks like it's frozen on my it's frozen on my stream. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Yeah, it's frozen. Did we still got the meeting going? What? Live, yeah, okay, 47. What happened here? Why would it? The stream's still going, but for some reason, the image is frozen. What's going on? We still on the Zoom. The Zoom ain't in yet. Hey man, live television, folks. This is live television. This is what happens on live television. You gotta deal with the glitches. On live TV. Dang. I don't know what happened. I feel like it's still picking up the audio, but for some reason the video is not picking up.
That's weird.
Which makes no sense. And it's still going. Dang. Why would it do that? I'm not really sure what to do. I'm not sure if I should just we should restart or what. Why would the video just stop playing though? Is it still got my camera? Yeah, the camera's fine. Zoom. Okay, dang. Didn't expect this to happen. Share screen. What should we do? Dang, we were having a good little conversation too, man. All right, I'm thinking that maybe we should you want to restart, because we still wanted to kind of do a little bit of the Aaron Jones conversation. So are you up to, I guess, the program would exit because the camera and computer are no longer connected? Are you still up to I guess just reboot this thing and just kind of keep going?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, I'm not sure what happened. But we are going to jump off and just talk. Don't worry about the. So someone said this? Just talk. Don't worry about the picture. But it's video, man. It's live. All right, so we're gonna jump off, and I'm gonna send you. I'll send you another invite in like 2 seconds. Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's weird. And